Hi, if you are living in Sweden and you have some money sitting in your bank account, it may be 50,000, 100,000 or 300,000 Swedish kroner. You will be probably wondering about where should you actually invest in year 2026. Should you simply buy some Swedish stock or put everything in the global index fund? Or will it be a better idea to invest in the Swedish properties or just to keep your money in the high interest saving account? Well, in this video, I will break it down the smartest account that you can use for your investment in Sweden, the best investment option in year 2026, the biggest financial mistakes that people make in Sweden with respect to their investment, and the simple portfolio strategy that you can simply copy. So without wasting further time, let's get simply start. But before we talk about what to invest in, we need to talk about where to invest. Because in Sweden, taxes matters a lot. For most of the people in Sweden, the best option to invest is through an ISK. If you want to understand more about the ISK, don't forget to check it out my video in the I button here. But in short, ISK stands for Investment Saving Account. It taxed differently compared to the traditional investment account. So instead of paying the capital gain tax every time when you sell your holdings, you need to pay small yearly tax based on your portfolio value. The ISK account make it everything very simple, tax efficient and perfect for the long-term investments. The most commonly used platform in Sweden are Avanza and the Nordnet. Both are very easy to use, beginners friendly and the low cost. But note that Avanza platform is completely in Swedish language. If you are not much familiar with the Swedish language, then please consider opening an ISK account with the Nordnet or any bank who offer the ISK in English language. Now let's talk about the actual investment options available in Sweden. In year 2026, there are mainly the four categories considered. The first investment option is the Global Index Fund. If you want to invest in the simplest and the most powerful strategy, just invest in the low-cost Global Index Fund inside an ISK account. And that's it. These funds typically tracks the indexes like the MSCI World and S&P 500. The Global Index Fund works best because you own the thousands of the company and you are well diversified across all the countries that reduce the ultimate risk on your portfolio. And you are not only relying on the Swedish market. It is worth to know that Sweden is a very small percentage of the global stock market. If you only invest in the Swedish companies, you will be heavily concentrated in a very small economy. And the global fund protect you from that concentration risk. For most of the people, 60 to 80% of your portfolio can simply be the global index fund. The low fee are very critical here. Look at the total expenses ratio below 0.3%. So over the 20 year, these fees make a huge difference. The second investment option is the Swedish stock market. Many people in Sweden loves to invest in the Swedish companies, maybe because of their home biasness. And honestly, Sweden has some incredible businesses. For example, the Investor, Volvo, Saab, ABB and many more. They are globally competitive companies. There is nothing wrong in owning the Swedish stocks. But the mistake is only buying the Swedish stocks. If you want the local exposure, you can keep around 15 to 25% of your portfolio. That will give you the dividend income, exposure to the Swedish kroner and the familiar company without the risk of the concentration of portfolio. Another investment option is the Swedish real estate. Real estate in Sweden has gone through the very volatile phase in the recent year, mainly because of the rising interest rate. The cities like the Stockholm and the Gothenburg have seen lot of price adjustment. In year 2026, the real estate may look very attractive again, depending on the interest rate, the lending rules and the rental yield of the properties. But keep in mind, real estate is very illiquid, expensive to enter, high transaction cost and very concentrated risk up to some point. And on the other hand, stocks are very liquid, easy to diversify, scalable and passive investing. If you are buying the property to live in, that's just simply a lifestyle decision. But if you are buying the property to invest, please compare carefully against the long-term stock return as well. If you want to understand more about buying versus renting the apartment in Sweden, purely from the personal finance perspective, don't forget to check it out my video in the I button here. High interest saving account can also be another better investment option in Sweden. If you want to avoid the short-term volatility, you can also consider this option for your short-term goals. You can also use the saving account for your emergency fund, short-term goals, down payment saving, and the money that you need within the 2 years. This will really help you to avoid the short-term volatility, but do not use this account for the long-term investment. Otherwise, the inflation will slowly eat all of your savings. Now let's talk about what I commonly see the people doing wrong. Many people in Sweden invest only in the Swedish market. Sweden represents a very small fraction of the global stock market. And if Swedish market underperform, your entire portfolio will suffer. The quick solution is the diversification of your portfolio. The another common mistake is not using an ISK. Some people still invest through their traditional brokerage account and paying unnecessary taxes. This will ultimately reduce their overall returns. If you are investing for the long term in Sweden, ISK is usually the smartest choice. Now the another common mistake that I have seen the people make is to wait for the perfect time for the investment. I often heard the people saying, I will invest when the market will correct, I will invest when the krona will get strengthened, I will invest when the things will settle down, and I will feel safe for the investment. Remember, market will move very fast before you feel comfortable. The time spent in the market beats timing the market. Now our trading is another biggest problem, and some people are addicted to that. They check their portfolio on a daily basis and sometimes on the hourly basis, buying and selling their stocks very frequently and trying to beat the market. Most successful investors are often most boring ones. The best strategy would be to automate their investment, invest monthly and consistently, and stop watching the daily noise. Now let's talk about the simple portfolio strategy for year 2026. Remember, this is just an example, not any kind of direct and indirect financial advice. Someone who is really focused on the long term can have a 70% global index fund, 20% Swedish large cap or Swedish dividend paying stocks, and allocate 10% of their total portfolio in the emerging market or the growth option. But remember, buy everything inside the ISK account, rebalance once in a year, invest monthly, and ignore the headlines. Now as a summary or the key takeaway from this video, use an ISK account for your long-term investment, keep most of your portfolio as a global, and do not ignore the Swedish market and do not overweigh as well. Consider automate your investment and most importantly, start now. This is the best time to start the investment. You do not need a perfect strategy, you only need a consistency. In 10 to 15 years, your discipline beats the intelligence. I really hope you find this video very helpful. If you would like me to make more videos on any topic related to money, wealth, investment, or anything related to personal finance in Sweden, let me in the comment below. I will be happy to make the video for you. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.